In my time, I have chronicled the rise and fall of great empires. I've seen kings and sultans come and go, but I have never seen anything like the storm that was Genghis Khan. My job, as I see it, is to sort through the stories, the tales of terror and the sagas of triumph, to try and find the real man. Now, this is the story you probably know, the one that other scribes are so quick to tell. They call him the Scourge of God, a wave of pure destruction. And when you see the smoke rising from cities in Persia or Cathay, it's easy to believe. But is that the whole story? Well, to find that out, we've got to dig a little deeper. And let me tell you, it isn't simple. On one hand, you have the Mongols' own account, their so-called secret history. And it's surprisingly honest, sometimes showing him as unsure, even afraid. But then you have the accounts from my part of the world, the ones written by those who faced his armies. And those are written in ink that feels like it's mixed with blood and tears. We have to weigh both. First things first, he wasn't born Genghis Khan. That's a title, a name that means king of all kings. No, he was born into a world of incredible hardship, not greatness. So let's look at the boy they called Temujin. His youth was just brutal. When he was just a boy, his father was poisoned. His own tribe, they abandoned him and his family to die in the wilderness. He had to fight for every scrap of food, for survival itself. He even killed his own half-brother just to secure his place as head of the family. I mean, an upbringing like that, it forges a will of iron. And that will is what let him do the impossible: unite all the warring tribes of the steppe. But the man who brought unity to the nomads would soon bring terror to the rest of the world. For the people of Persia, of the Jin dynasty, of the Rus, his armies weren't unifiers. Oh no, they were seen as a storm sent by God himself to punish us. A fellow historian, a man from my own land of Persia, wrote this. It's so short, but it's chilling, isn't it? It perfectly captures the sheer speed and terror of it all. This was a new kind of war. Total. If you stood against them, there was no mercy. The numbers, even for a man like me who deals in facts and figures, they're hard to comprehend. We're talking about millions of people, entire regions so completely destroyed that they might not recover for centuries. Great, ancient cities I read about as a boy, just gone, turned to dust. So you have to ask, how do the Mongols justify this? And this is where the two stories could not be more different. For us, in the lands they overran, he was a punishment from God for our sins. But for them, they believed they had a divine mission from their sky god, Tengri, to conquer the entire world. For them, it wasn't just slaughter. It was destiny. And yet, here is where my work gets truly complicated. Because as I collect more scrolls, a completely different picture starts to emerge from inside the empire he built. It's not a story about a destroyer. It's about a unifier, a lawgiver, a builder. Think about this for a moment. This man, this supposed barbarian, created a state built on an idea that was, frankly, revolutionary. Merit. He didn't care who your father was. He only cared if you were loyal and skilled. In a world obsessed with bloodlines, this was unheard of. He also demanded religious tolerance for all faiths. And the Silk Road, he made it so safe that trade and ideas flowed between East and West like never before. And then there's the Yasa, his great code of laws. This is one of the biggest mysteries of all. How does a nomad, a man who had never seen a city, who some say couldn't even write his own name, come up with a sophisticated legal system to govern dozens of different peoples across a continent? It's baffling. So how do we put these two people together? How can one man be the scourge of God and the great lawgiver, the destroyer of civilizations and the unifier of the world? It's a complete paradox. He was fiercely, intensely loyal to his own people, but to his enemies, he was absolutely pitiless. A man of terrifying contradictions. He could order the execution of every man, woman, and child in a city, and then create a peace so profound that a lone woman carrying a sack of gold could supposedly travel from one end of his empire to the other, completely unharmed. And you know what's truly frustrating for a historian? We don't even really know what he looked like. My colleagues who claim to have seen him describe this tall, powerful man with flashing eyes, like a cat's. But no one dared to paint his portrait while he was alive, so all the images you see today, they're just guesswork. The real man remains a shadow. So years after his death,
How is this man remembered? How will history judge him centuries from now? Is he the ultimate tyrant, or is he the father of a nation?
Well, as it turns out, his legacy is as divided as his life was. In the lands he conquered, like mine, his name is a curse we use to frighten children. But if you travel to the Mongol heartland, he's a national hero. He is Genghis Khan, the founding father of their entire people. It's like they're talking about two completely different men. Someone writing from a future I can hardly fathom put it this way, and I think it might be the closest anyone has come to the truth. Half civilized, half savage. Maybe that's it. Maybe that description isn't just about him, but about all of us, in a way. So, in the end, after all my searching through these scrolls, I can tell you there is no simple answer. Was he the brilliant warrior who brought order out of chaos, or was he the monster who drowned the world in blood? The truth is, he was both, and that leaves us with a very unsettling question, doesn't it? How should history remember a man who built a new world right on top of the ashes of the old one?